Hi there, everyone. It's Gloria with Glory Be Resale, and I'm going to do another What Sold Last Week. It wasn't, I don't think, great if I remember, but we're going to do it anyway, just because. And then later on today, I will have to do a haul video and then get that stuff listed. I'm going to try to be hustling this week, so we hopefully will get more haul videos, but I expect to get at least one done tonight. And we're going to do the what sold last week, and we're already on Sunday, so it's not this week, it's what sold last week. I did go away for a few days. So, anyway, I'll see you then. Let's go on to get our what sold. Everyone, it's Gloria with Glory Be Resale, and I'm here to do a quick haul of what sold both last week and this week. I went to do last week and it was so bad that I had to put the two together. And still not that great, but it is what it is. I really didn't do a lot of work. I did a lot of taxes and getting everything I needed together in the last week or two. And then I went away for a couple days. So it's what it is. So let's get through them. The first thing that sold over on eBay was this vintage CBS Radio Networks um, hitting the moon before Russia in 1958. Just a press release. And that sold for $19.79. The next item to sell was this Malay Gabrielle multicolor cotton little sundress. This sold for $20. Might have sold for 18. I'm not even gonna look it up right now. But the cost to me on it was $3.25. The next item to sell was this Piccadilly Fashions linen jacket, and this sold. I took an offer of $20. Cost to me on it was $3.25. Next item to sell was this La- Laiste. I'm not sure how to say that, by Amy. It's St. Patrick's Day Kelly Green halter dress linen, and this sold after St. Patrick's Day, but anyway, it was a very cute halter dress with ruffles on the bottom, sold for the full asking price of $39. And the cost to me on it was $3.25. Next item to sell was this Ralph Lauren 100% linen tank sweater, and this sold for $20, and the cost to me on this was $2.50. Now over on to Poshmark. First thing to sell there was this Masmania fleece bear print jacket, and this was recently in a haul because I had bought a wolf one and that sold, and the next week I went in and they had a bear one and I bought that. So both of them sold for $29. So um, and they were quick sales, so I would do these again because I only put them up for $29 because I wanted to move them along, but they moved along quickly. Like I want to say both of them within a week or two. This I don't know how long I had this one up, but it wasn't super long. Anyway, $29. Cost to me was $6.49. The next item to sell was this pair of Dry Joys by FootJoy men's golf pants. These I've had since last season. or maybe I got them at the end of season last year, but they didn't end up selling then, and, carried them over to this year, forgot all about them. So I paid $5 for these, and they sold for the full asking price of $39. The next item to sell was this little ceramic um, planter with hand-painted flowers on the side, and this sold for $13. Someone sent me that offer, and I was happy to get rid of it. I paid $1.99 for it, and moving along, I didn't figure I could get a lot more out of that online. I think I originally bought it for myself, but it didn't fit. So moved it along. And I still got a profit considering I only paid $2. Next item was this Anne Klein white eyelet button front dress, and this sold for $30. The cost to me on it was $3.25. The next item to sell were these vintage Dot Industry 1977 pair of candle sconces in gold, and somebody sent me an offer of 25. I wanted a little higher, but then I looked, I had only paid $3, so I accepted it. I didn't want to counter and not make the sale, and obviously I'm glad considering how bad I've done that I did that. So anyway, and I just got a bunch more that will be in the next haul video of different Sirocco and Homeco items, sconces, and so forth. So, moved it along. Next item to sell was this Women's Ruth London white double collared, and this was like a vintage double collared embroidered blouse. And the cost to me on this was $3, and I sold it. I took an offer of $23. I sent it. Uh, and that one sold. So this I just relisted, I believe. You know, it had been there since last year, so I decided to relist some things that just to get things moving in my closet and, because I was not ready to do the hauls yet. And it sold. So sometimes you should just take old stagnant inventory and relist it. Get people looking at it again, especially things that are seasonal. And now over to Etsy. Etsy, I sold these two cherubs for $35, and I paid 50 cents each for them. So $1 into $35. That was a nice sale on Etsy. The next item to sell on Etsy was this planter. This is kind of, I don't know, maybe about 18, 19 inches. This metal planter, beautiful leg on it. This I'd say is definitely, my guess would be 70s. And I picked this up at a yard sale last year for $3, and I sold it for $99. So that was a nice profit. Next item that I sold on Etsy was this vintage. I don't know if you can see it. For some reason, it won't let me open this one. So this was a vintage lemon napkin holder made in Italy. I think it was Italy or Portugal. I'm not sure. But anyway, it was lemons on one side and a little city scene on the other side. And this sold for $22. So let me see if I can pull that back up. And Actually, I think the shipping on this was kinda high because it's up to $49 and the item itself was 22. See, it won't let me for whatever reason on this one, it won't let me go to the original item. Anyway, I paid $1.99 and it sold for $22. Next item, but I feel like I might have made a little money on shipping. The next item, this was a wood bucket by um, Heinz Ketchup. They put this out, Heinz Ketchup, in Pittsburgh. I don't know if that's where they're originally from. I'm gonna guess that it is, but I think this was something put out, it was definitely put out in the 80s. I bought this in the estate sale for $5, and it's funny because I bought it in the basement at the beginning and then went up to the house, but it was such a that estate sale was such a mess trying to there was no place to put your stuff, so I had to carry everything around. So it was limited as to how much I got because I had to have everything in my hands at all times. And somebody picked up this bucket when I had put my things down at one point. So I watched in the line to see who had it. And eventually, behind me, I saw a lady with it, and I went up and asked her for it back. Told her that it was mine, and she had picked it out of my pile. So anyway, that was the big excitement there. It was just so crazy how packed it was. And the lines went through like the living room, into the dining room, into the kitchen. And this house was 7,500 square feet. So that's a huge house. And it was still just crowded. But anyway, I sold it. I paid $5 and I sold it for $49. So I'm very happy with that. The next item was this incline stretch knit top, and I took an offer of $17.60, and the cost to me on it was 99 cents. And the last thing to sell was this heel bob rayon dress, and this somebody sent me an offer of $24, and I was happy to get rid of it. I have had this for a couple years, and I feel like I think it was like $7 for this. And I think at one time Heel Bob was good, but I must have picked this up at the end of that time, and it did not sell. So I've had it since I lived in Boston. You can tell it's on the mannequin, so happy to see it go. And that was everything that I sold last week. So hopefully your sales were better than mine. I don't know if it was just me, but I can't believe how extremely slow it was, especially last week, because a lot of these sales come in this week, and I was away for 2 days this week. So, and I probably took a little time before and after to pack and get ready and so forth. So, I don't know, but hopefully I'm just going to hustle and try to list as much as possible in the next couple weeks because now I have to pay those taxes that I owe, so I have to hustle. And I hope your sales are doing better than mine. And if you wouldn't mind, like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. And there definitely will be a haul video coming up probably tomorrow. So have a great night, and I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.